Hello friends! We continue to follow the events on the front lines of Ukraine and Russia as well as in news. And today a coup begins in Russian. Friends, this is not a fake or a joke. At first I didn't believe it myself, but later I realized that it really started. But before we begin, check your subscription to the channel, like the video and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. We won't cover the Ukrainian front review today because there are more interesting news stories. It all started at 4 in the morning when Prigozhin announced that Wagner Group mercenaries shot down a Russian military helicopter. In an audio recording released by Prigozhin's press service on Telegram, he claims that Wagner fighters shot down a helicopter that fired at a civilian convoy.
Они пренебрегают жизнями солдат. Они забыли слово «справедливость», и мы вернем ее. Поэтому те, кто уничтожили сегодня наших парней, те, кто уничтожили десятки, многие десятки тысяч жизней русских солдат, будут наказаны. Я прошу никому не оказывать сопротивления. Те, кто будут пытаться оказать это сопротивление, мы будем считать, что это угроза, и уничтожать немедленно, включая любые блокпосты, вставшие на нашем пути, любую авиацию, которую увидим над своими головами. Я прошу всех сохранять спокойствие, не поддаваться на провокации, оставаться в своих домах, желательно по маршруту нашего следования не выходить на улицу. После того, как мы закончим начатое, мы вернемся на фронт для защиты нашей Родины.
However, the leader of the Wagner Group didn't specify where exactly Russian military aviation was shot down by his mercenaries. Earlier, Prigozhin stated that his army had crossed the Russian border everywhere and entered the city of Rostov-on-Don, while the Russian General Staff ordered them to open fire. What precedes this? The first one. The leader of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, claimed that the regular Russian army launched a missile strike on the rear camps of the mercenaries. According to him, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu flew to Rostov, where he personally conducted an operation to eliminate the mercenaries. The second one, supposedly 25,000 of Prigozhin's mercenaries are restoring justice. At the same time, he asks not to call it a military coup. Prigozhin added that Shoigu cowardly fled Rostov and this creature will be stopped. The Russian Ministry of the Defense calls this information a provocation. The third one, the Russian dictator Vladimir Putin has already been informed about the conflict between the leader of the Wagner Group, Yevgeny Prigozhin, and the Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu. A criminal case for incitement to armed rebellion has been initiated against Prigozhin. The fourth one, after the statement by the Wagner Group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin about the actual declaration of war against the Russian army, social media started posting photos of armored vehicles on the streets of Rostov-on-Don, and checkpoints were set up at the approaches to Moscow, according to media reports. Today, Wagner Group mercenaries also seized military facilities in the Russian city of Voronezh, according to Reuters. The publication notes that it couldn't independently verify this claim or many other details provided by the Wagner Group leader Yevgeny Prigozhin. The administration of the Voronezh region announced around 5 in the morning that a military column was present on the M4 highway and urged residents to avoid it. Reuters mentions that on unverified footage posted on social media, a column of various military equipment can be seen, including at least one tank and one armored vehicle. It was unclear where they were located and whether the trucks in the column carried soldiers. Some vehicles had Russian flags. Panicked, Putin called Tokayev to inform him about what was happening in Russia, and Tokayev responded that everything happening is Russia's internal affair. The Kremlin attempted to negotiate with Prigozhin, but he refused. This information was reported by a source close to Putin's administration, according to Russian media. According to the source, after Prigozhin refused to accept the administration's terms, Putin gave the order to initiate a criminal case against him and deal with him harshly. After the initial reports, messages started appearing on several influential Russian Telegram channels claiming that all the statements by the Wagner PMC leader Yevgeny Prigozhin were fake and the result of hacking. According to Ukrainian intelligence, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin urgently left Moscow for Valdai, while Putin's press secretary denies this information. Ukrainian intelligence has also received information about panic moods in Moscow and preparations for the mining of bridges in the Russian capital. At the same time, the press secretary of the Russian president Dmitry Peskov told RIA Novosti that Putin is supposedly working in the Kremlin. Additionally, the secretariat of the deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council Dmitry Medvedev refused the information that he allegedly left the Moscow region. The secretariat claims that Medvedev, his assistants, and the secretariat itself are supposedly present at their workplace and performing their duties. Meanwhile, the publication Важные истории reports that Putin's plane took off from Moscow and disappeared from radars. The leader of the Wagner PMC, Yevgeny Prigozhin, confirmed that Russian law enforcement agencies found boxes of money near his office in St. Petersburg, with reports suggesting 4 billion rubles. CNN emphasizes that Putin is so accustomed to being considered a master tactician, at least in Russia, that the initial statements by Yevgeny Prigozhin were interpreted as an attempt by the Russian president to keep his generals in suspense. It is quite likely that the Wagner units had been planning this for some time. The justification for the uprising arose spontaneously, claiming an airstrike on the Wagner camp in the forest. The mercenaries quickly gathered their forces and advanced towards Rostov. It is difficult to do this spontaneously in just one day. It should also be noted that the coup in Russia started at the best moment for Ukrainian offensive actions. It will likely change the course of the war in favor of Ukraine. On Friday, a CNN film crew was near the front line in southern Ukraine. Journalists report seeing a large concentration of troops and weapons, including the latest Western weaponry, ready for an offensive. An An-24 plane crashed in the Voronezh region. It is likely that it was shot down. The plane crashed near the village of Kantemirovka. According to preliminary data, at least 3 people were killed. Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to avoid clashes with the Wagner PMC in Moscow and has tasked security forces with eliminating the head of the mercenaries Yevgeny Prigozhin, according to Russian media reports. It is stated that the Russian armed forces don't have serious forces that could block Prigozhin's passage to Moscow. Currently, the backbone of the group is being assembled from all non-frontline units: Chechen Formation, the Russian National Guard, the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and the Federal Security Service. And that's all for now. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Bye-bye.